Okay, so I just wanted to say that on this week I'm a little bit behind. I actually got stuck, so I don't have a lot of it done. I've been feeling really depressed recently because of this project, so please keep in mind that I've actually set aside time and tried to do this, but I just haven't done it yet, I guess. Right, so I'm going to talk about the score system, and basically the score system, I get a text file and I read from this. So right now I have it set to the exact centipede ones. And basically the way it's doing it is in the wave manager, it's actually loading the high score. So there's that high score text. It goes through all of them, it gets the high score and the name, and then puts it in the list called high scores, and that's pretty much it for loading it. And then when it comes down to writing it, if you go to the HUD, I have a method called show scores, show high scores, and that basically gets glyph lists. I have one for each section, the names, the score, and then the actual text, like the text saying high score, then the Atari logo or a copyright symbol. So this is the credits, the one that says 2 credits. This is the bonus, it says bonus every 12,000 or whatever, and so on and so forth. And the names here, they get that list from the wave manager and parse through the entire list, and for each one it sets the name and the score. So just to see that it's working, there you go, high score on top. And then just to show that it is actually reading this and looking at the score, I will put 90,000 and then Hector. So there you go. And then the top one, it went to 90,000. Okay. So I also have the ability to check for a new high score and then update that accordingly. But I don't have mode switching, so I'm just going to show you that it actually works. Right now I'm using a hard-coded number just as an example for the sake of the video to show that it does work. It's 30,000 and it's going to input test. So if you look at the scores, this is what it looked like. 30,000 should be just under Hector and everything should move down. And the way I'm doing that just for now is when I initialize, I have show scores, then I write the new scores. I check for high scores, then I write those scores, and then show them again. So this can actually be omitted. This will just check and then write and then show. So as you can see, it's right there, 30,000 TOS. It's supposed to be test, that's a typo, but it does work, and it moved all of them down instead of just replacing it. So DFT, CAD, comparing it to the other one, you can see that it did work. So I do have the ability to do that. I just haven't gotten all the switching yet. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show is two-player mode, because I don't have the switching, I can only show one at a time. As you can see, this is 2 players, so let's say I destroy a couple of these mushrooms down here, just to remind myself later that I'm going to change. So the first wave is 2 centipede segments, it's just a test. So if I kill myself, the mushroom field will change, and now I'm at player 2. You can tell because the score is updating on the right, not the left anymore. And then if I destroy myself again, you'll see that I'm at the save wave, the 2 centipede, and then all these mushrooms here have gone, so it did load correctly. So now if I actually do beat the wave, I should have a longer mushroom, a longer centipede coming in. There you go. So now I'm at the second wave, so if I destroy myself with a spider, now I'm at player 2, and I'm going to update this one's level by killing the centipede. So there you go, and then I destroy myself. I'm back to player 1 on the new, the same current wave that it died on. And there you go, there's player 2. So the way I basically did this was I have a player class. It's just an abstract class. and that holds the player mushroom, the current wave, the number of lives, and the current score. Basically, all the things that a player is. Um, and then each player does the same things from the abstract class, but it corresponds to its own either field, like clearing or respawning the field, or its own HUD part. So set player 1 lives, number of lives, etc., etc. And the way that works is basically in my wave manager, I have something called swap players, which basically just swaps the players because I have the players being composed into the actual wave manager. So I will show you the wave manager here. Okay. So here's the current player, and then player 1 and player 2. Player 2 is just that it's going to be a player 1 derived base, and then player 2 is going to be player 2 derived base. Um, so basically the way it works is it starts it by doing the startup method, which is just spawning a player, and it's going to be player 1. So then once it either if it dies, then it'll go to this it'll go to this end of wave decision. But if it kills the centipede head, it'll increment its current wave. That way, when this gets called, it'll go to the next wave instead of going to the same current one. And then basically when this gets called, it clears the player field so that the mushrooms don't appear next time. It swamps the player, then it loads whatever wave that player is on, and then it respawns those mushrooms. And this just basically checks to see if that player that we swapped into has any more lives. So if it does, then spawn a new player and lower the lives. And then at the end here, all it does is basically updates that player lives. So in the HUD, it'll update that lives because each player has a different HUD writing. So here's the set player 2 score, which player 2 calls, and then set player 1 score, which player 1 calls. That's how I got the scores working left and right. And that's basically it for 2-player mode. First play. There's not really much to say about 1-player mode. It's essentially the same thing, except you don't swap players, and you don't clear the field or respawn the field because there's no point for that. So I'll just show it. It's pretty much written the same way. So here we have that 2 centipede wave, which is the first one. I kill myself. It'll still be that 2. As you can see, only the left score is being updated. Once I destroy this centipede here, it should come up. Once I destroy the centipede, it should go to the 8th centipede one. Pretty sure. There you go. And if I kill myself, it's still the same one. I died because I was past my lives, but here is loading the previous one, so it's the way it's supposed to work. It's pretty much it. But that's the whole part of the going on to the next wave. It's just incrementing that wave and then loading.